Hello, everybody. We are back.
Greetings!
We're live.
Greetings. Part 2 of the two-part webisode that we do of the ships and characters. Are you excited? We're back to ships.
I'm excited. They better be excited.
Ships! We like ships.
We do. And there are a lot of new ships in Prodigy, so...
I mean, look at that thumbnail. It be crammed. Can I just point out, that is a crammed thumbnail with a variety of things. New, old, my renders, their renders, Stowe renders, etc. Straight off the bat, straight out the gate, Stuart. How would you... Because we've looked at every show now except Stranger Worlds for ships. So we've done the gambit, right? How does Prodigy fare in terms of your mental image of how many ships it has or how good they do in the pantheon?
The ship porn in Prodigy is great.
Sort of leading you a bit there with a positive, but
yeah.
you saw why, yeah.
And new designs as well, which is also fantastic. The only one that I think that rivals it is Lower Decks, and there's more in Prodigy in 2 seasons. So, Strange New Worlds, of course, you get new designs because it's a new visual style, and that's fine.
But you take them with the pinch of salt that they deserve.
Yeah.
Versus just, it's the Voyager-A. Done. Tick.
Trek Culture is here for the Centaur.
Yes.
Hey, Chris. It's probably Chris.
Hello. And if it's Sean, then you know what you did. No, I didn't do anything. He's in the films. He knows what he did.
He didn't say goodbye to me in Vegas.
Oh.
He's in trouble.
Did I see him?
Yeah, I think you got a chance to say goodbye to him.
Because he was off to go hang out with his better half. Taller half. Well, that taller third or fourth. Anyway. Yes, many... Oh my god, it's Dan's 11th third super chat. Thank you, Dan. Jesus.
It says 3 with balloons. Thanks, YouTube.
But I'm going to start a goal before I even... Because we want a niche, because obviously you guys fund this, you guys help us go, so we're going to put the goal in. Actually. So put the goal straight away. Hopefully we can hit that as we are talking about it today.
And go vote on the poll. Best new ship from Star Trek Prodigy. I got the Protostar, the Dauntless, the Rev 12, and the Voyager-A. And Dan says the Rev 12, that was the Diviner ship. So,
yeah,
kind of bucks the trend of the other ships I have in the poll, but that's okay.
Although, I was so tempted to bring stills from my own fan content because I've even talked to some people who worked at Prodigy, and we've done more. Why is that not working? We've done more shots of the Rev in my Prodigy content than they did in their entire 20 episodes. I remember I talked to one of them at the time and was like, so is it going to be in season 2 much? They're like, probably not. It's like, okay, cool. So I had more shots of it very much after the first 2 episodes. I mean, the Rev's right at the end, which is a different variant. So I mean, technically,
Yeah.
But yeah. And did that goal happen? No, the goal hasn't happened yet. It's not starting for some reason.
Kick it.
Kick it?
If you kick your monitor, that'll help. Anyway, yes. So yes, we're looking at your choices today. Okay. Dan's already thrown his first one in, which is awesome. So keep it up. And what is the goal, sir? The goal is 10 $5 super chats in 30 minutes.
Which is 10 options, so we want to talk about 10 things.
So if you can, please do.
And what does everyone get? What's the reward?
I didn't read the reward.
Yeah, you should.
A Tranya party.
Tranya!
That's going to be the Romulan ale party.
Well, we do escalate, yeah. All right, I'm going to start showing for realsies. See you in a second. Put some in. Remember, you can put in the hero ships out the bat. You can put the one-offs. There's a lot of reuse. I'm happy to include secondary craft like you can see from the notes, like the small things, because a lot of design work went in, right? So like the
fighters and shuttles,
shuttles, the ground craft, because I'm pretty sure they could be in space as well. Just saying. Right, see you in a sec.
All right, guys. We'll get to your super chat in a second there, Dan. Thank you so much. But 27 people here, 16 likes. Hit that like button and let us know which ship you want us to talk about. Super chat in. Because we love doing this. We love talking about ships. We love ranking them. We love having discussions, and included with you guys. Just chime in the chat what you think, what you're thinking about what we say. And remember, you have the power. You can move stuff around on the board if you want to after it's locked in, because it's not officially ever locked until it is. That's host discretion. But even then, you guys can move it, so it's fine. It's not even really locked. That being said, hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell icon to all so you don't miss any content from us, whether it be these lives or edited content. Doing this for 10 years now, and we haven't missed one Saturday in 10 years. Plus, we tend to do multiple other things during the week of edited content when there's new Star Trek to talk about. So whether you like the Star Trek that we talk about or you don't, we talk about it all. So feel free to join us and make sure you're subscribed. Also, you can join the channel. There's a join button down there on YouTube. So you can join us here, or you can join us over on Patreon/Trekyards. Help us out on a monthly basis. Get your name in the credits of our videos. Get assigned a ship. Get assigned a rank. It's all fun. And we have a Discord server where you guys can chat and hang out as well. So please consider doing that. And yeah, the only other thing I've got to say is there are links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. So check those links out. There's Trekyards merchandise there, as well as a lot of other things, especially on TeePublic. They got a really great selection of stuff. So go use the link, take a look, see if you want to buy anything. We'd appreciate it. Doesn't have to be Trekyards related. Just saying. We got our first $5 super chat towards our goal from Matt Yarrington, which again I'll get to in a second as soon as Sam is done sharing. But I'd like to thank you all for joining us on this wonderful Thursday afternoon. Hope you're having a fantastic day and a good week. And I hope you're looking forward to a fun and exciting weekend. Or relaxing. Whatever your weekend entails and plan. Plan. What? Entail. That's the word. Hi.
What did I step into?
I was just hoping that everybody has a good weekend coming up and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Whether it be adventurous and fun or relaxing and chill.
Or conquering the universe one planet at a time, you know. Any of the options, right?
The alien construct.
Don't think that's a shit, but... alright, so where are we going in this journey of discovery? Not with a discovery, of course. Although, I mean, some of you in the chat who like to be dicks could technically show holograms, and so there is discovery in it if you want to be dicks about it.
No, it's a cross-field class. It's not discovery.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm just saying, because they are ships in the show, and we have done technicalities before, because they are ships in the show, right? There's, you know. Anyway. Right, where are we going, my fine Stuart?
Well, first off, we got Dan Ben with £2 with the Ferengi Marauder. That is, of course, Del's stepmom, whatever. And... yeah, this was a real treat to see, I gotta be honest. We'll get a picture up for you here in just a second. But no, we were really happy at the time because this was a really well done Ferengi Marauder. It looks fantastic. Super screen accurate.
It's off to the side, Stuart. I was right there. There you go.
Where? You stop putting them way over there. Put them around. Around. Overlap them because I can't. When my monitor's set up, I can't.
You just zoom out.
But I don't want to because then I have to zoom back in and I have to take the magnifying glass thing off and then I forget and then it goes up. So that's why I do that. I don't just do it for shits and giggles. I do it because it's functionally the way that I work.
Ferengi Marauder, continue.
Beautiful to see. We were so happy to see it. We didn't expect to see a Ferengi Marauder and one in such great detail. Like the detail work on this is absolutely glorious. And we get quite a few views of it as well. And it's a cool design. I've always liked the design of Ferengi Marauder. It definitely feels alien, and it's represented here in stunning detail, much more so than they really needed to do. But they really love their ships and their cannons, so they did a really good job with this, and I'm very pleased to see it. I remember how excited we were to have such a really good ship show up. So, yeah, that's kind of my take.
Yeah, this is definitely now. Okay, I was about to say. Okay, I'll finish my sentence before I just start the second sentence.
Okay.
It's definitely them showing off, but this is the sort of ship that you can absolutely assume if you're doing more episodes that the writers might say another Ferengi, and also Dal's mum ships. It's a very logical ship to make sure it's a nice model to then bring back. Of all the ships, right? The Kazon stuff fine, the Klingons fine. This makes a lot of sense, and yeah, it is absolutely exceptional. I mean, we had said in our content, probably the best one ever seen. better than the Voyager model, which is great, but 1997, better than the one from TNG because this is a bit more dirt, variety, etc. So it's amazing. It really, if you cropped out, the animated background, you could convince a few people it was from a live action show almost. The lighting's a bit flat, but it's so rich in detail that compared to like the Dauntless, which is a little bit less detailed, even though it's a hero ship. It's interesting to see where the effort falls. But I can see a fan of Trek, or even just someone who really liked it, thought, I'm just going to have fun with this. It feels like fun has been had in doing this one. So it feels very featured. Although I feel like the windows are a bit off. There aren't windows in the neck. I feel like there's more windows in this than normally is.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I have a model of this.
Oh, no, they are there. Yeah, they are there. If I Google it, I find my render. No, they're there. I just never think of them being there. Yeah, no, it's great. And of course, it's the episode. We see some interior. We see it not cloak? No, but we see it. Oh, is it cloaked?
No. It lands on a planet, though. Or does it land? It doesn't. No, it lands.
Because does it not decloak above them? I'm trying to think. Because I remember there being a reveal. Let me find the episode.
Maybe. It just seems odd, though. I don't remember talking about that.
So where do you say it fits in the pantheon of your enjoyment of the overall show? Because we're not looking at it to compare to itself, but in the overarching show with other ships, where would you place it?
Like I said, it was just such a love. The show is such a love and appreciation for canon that I really enjoyed seeing it and knew that the team they know what they're doing. So it definitely added to the enjoyment of the show.
Yeah, it decloaked. I was right. Yeah.
Is there a line about her stealing a cloaking device or something?
It's early in the episode, yeah.
Okay, well there you go. No, I really liked the Marauder, and it was a pleasant surprise. So, where to place it in the charts? Now we're going for canon accuracy with these things, if they're canon ship.
Well, no, it's just the overall the quality of it in the show, right? So it's a slightly metric as you want. It's only in one episode, of course, but it's heavily in the episode, of course, and it's a really high quality model. So yeah, it kind of depends where's the gut say.
Probably at a B for me for canon accuracy and stuff. But there are newer, more innovative and cool designs that will go A and S tier for sure. So I'm very happy to put this at a B, personally.
Yeah, my gut was an A because I think it did everything right, nothing wrong. But it hasn't got the secret sauce of the S. But there are many ships that are going to be in the BC. And I think, from memory, I think this is a superior model and a great episode. Yeah. And also we get interiors. Like, I think there's enough character. It wasn't just a, it's like there'll be the Gorn ship later. It's just sort of background. It's beautiful, but it's background. So I think this deserves. That was my vote. I think a gentle A, because I think it's one of the best models of the show, and it has a really good episode.
Yeah, you talked me into it. And A's, I like that reasoning actually.
Yeah.
Good job.
So we have looked at replicas from lower decks, and they're like, oh, it's not great. And it's like, it's better than the show. It's like, what? What? Pretty rare that happen.
All right, well, for everyone that's here, hit like. I want to get to 30 likes if we can, and go vote on the poll, please. But next up, we've got Matt Yarrington with $5. The Kobayashi Maru, finally seen in the Prime timeline canon.
Yes, now this exists as a image, as a still frame on a screen, and that's absolutely okay.
Hold on, Slides is not cooperating with me right now.
Slides isn't sliding.
Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Yes, indeed. The Kobayashi Maru. Which, I mean, we've seen Thomas Maroney's version of it. We've seen John Eve's version of it over the years. We've talked about all these. And this fits those pretty well. I thought we had one image of it on the view screen.
I thought we did too, but I found this quicker.
Okay, that's fine. This gives us all the specs on it. So.
And guys, if you have a specific episode where things are for one-offs, that would be great. Just to help. Rather than to, search around a bit. Just helps.
Yeah, it's hard for him to go through the episodes to get the...
And talk and do it quickly.
Yes, but he's a genius, so I have every faith in him.
Done this a few times now. Practice does help. But yes, Maru.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. This has very much TOS elements to it. I remember the image, but on the view screen had TOS elements, but you can tell by looking at this here, the saucer section, the bridge module, stuff like that, all feels very TOS. It's supposed to be an old freighter, and it absolutely works. And it's cool to see finally on screen and be canonized. So, yeah, got to give them props for doing that. But again, that's Aaron Waltke being amazing. So...
Well, it was such an encouraging show because they just used the show to tell the story. Like, there exists designs that people like that are semi-official. They just used one. Boom, done, right?
Yeah.
Don't have to overthink it or reinvent the wheel. So yeah, it's absolutely a fine version. I mean, certainly it would have been really nice and very doable if they'd made a bigger part of actually seeing the Maru outside the ship. That would have been amazing.
Yes.
But of course, it's a hollow deck, and there's a little rule of you don't see outside the holodeck while you're in the holodeck. There is no outside, which is in one of my films. We see the outside and it confuses people. But it's like, yeah, but if I didn't show it, you'd guess. So, conceit of filmmaking, right? Because there is no outside.
Yeah.
But it would have been really nice to see this actually realised. But the way they're doing already so much in that episode, right? They don't need to do more and more and more. And no, I can't find the view screen image. I don't know where that might have been.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't see it.
No, so it was like Matt pointed out, the fact that it's actually seen in prime timeline canon was fantastic, and this is a cool
there's the view
display.
screen. Oh yes, gosh, it's a fucking small image.
It is. I remember
insane. Because I think this is basically John Eves' sketch. They just verbatim, or is it the fan one? It is. I mean, we obviously go check our video on this because we do have this debate and this discussion. It might actually be based on a fan design that we know. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Enjoy it in all its TOS-y glory.
Yeah, we can appreciate the TOS more when you see it. The pods being sort of almost structural in nature. Yeah, I mean, really, they did so much in the episode, but I would definitely have done something where you see, because they're in a Galaxy class. Imagine the Galaxy class warping out in front of this Maru, and then the Klingons showing up, and they really could have done it nice. I would vote C, because it was pleasant, but this is the the fullest nature of it. And it could have been more.
Yep. C's good. I wish it was shown on screen more, as you said, but at least we got the schematic of it, the details. So, which one do you want me to put in C? The actual view screen image?
Oh, the small one's fine because it will be shrunk down inside the child.
Perfect.
Yeah, and this was the dream of Prodigy. They just did stuff that made sense, and they kept doing that, which meant that you could be encouraged that you could see more. Lovely.
Which we did. We even got an original TOS Medusan ship, for Christ's sakes, which was phenomenal. So,
pretty much.
Next up, Sergeant Montgomery, Mako, $2, Nova Flyer Mark II.
The season 2 fighters, which we sort of guessed from the trailer teaser that they would be. I remember you said, "Oh, they're not going to be in it again," and I was like, "Yeah, they're pretty designed," and they came back in like a fire.
They flew over the Voyager-A the shuttle and stuff. So yeah. No, these are interesting designs. Again, they don't feel Starfleet to me, but it's supposed to be a fighter design. Using maybe Tellarite influences or something. I don't know, but they definitely feel more Star Wars to me than Star Trek. and they're a cool design, but very maneuverable, very good fighters. You get to see them. They actually have articulating points as well, which is really cool. And yeah. Like I said, they just don't feel very Star Trek to me, especially painted like this. You know, they just don't have that Starfleet pop or that Star Trek kind of feel.
But look, a Delta.
Oh yeah, there is one there.
There's also a TNG Delta in Post Nemesis. I ain't been the Delta for 15 years, guys. No, so what's interesting about this is that it's from a narrative perspective. Okay, we want and need a fast, zippy fighter that we can put our crew in and look cool. That's the brief, right? Now you take that concept and you take it to the Trek level. Okay, well, we don't do fighters in Trek, and it can't be as big as bigger things, because I know they would have thought of this, like, mostly, right? So we can't do a fighter per se. It's not really armed. It's not really, like, the things you associate. So, if you recall, they presented it as a Academy flyer. Exactly. Which is a great thing. You know, test them on really high-end hardware, and then they can do shuttles better, or Paragons, or whatever. Cool. Great idea. And then they grab them because the cadets who wire them on Voyager, I guess for this, like, it's a useful thing to have some really good flyers, and these are specialist craft. Cool. Which is why the TNG can make sense, because these things are actually 16 years old, and they're just a weird sort of design, right? So once you start separating, it's not an attack fighter, it's not a this, it's not that, it's a specific thing. It kind of helps it feel different, like the flyer in TNG. It doesn't really feel Star Trek Starfleet, but it's also really cool. It's just simpler, right? So it's but it does definitely feel a lot like other sci-fi. It's more greebled. It feels more greebled than the average thing. Articulation is very unusual for Trek, except Voyager's limited one. Even like the stepping of the pins, it doesn't feel even like what it's trying to be, which is a flyer.
Yeah,
it has a very unique style that I don't think. Yeah, I think it's cool over substance, right? Fair to say?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And I don't think they took into account Federation design language for it. That being said, they play a pretty pivotal role in those episodes. And we do get to see a few of them on screen doing a whole bunch of cool stuff. So,
like 3 fit in the bay, a separate bay, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because originally I was thinking maybe a D for this, but it is such a cool design and so well used.
It's one of the newer designs of the entire show. It's like, oh, ouch.
Well, if it was white.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Like I said, this just feels like Star Wars right now. Looking at that picture.
And the problem is, though, is that you put this next to the Kobayashi Maru, and you've got to lower the Kobayashi Maru then. Because irrespective of it being a legacy piece, it's only in one bit. And this doesn't feel like a B to me. I think you're right. There are Bs.
Yes.
This doesn't feel it to me either. Because, it doesn't feel like the form follows the... Hey, Deborah. It doesn't feel like the form follows the function. And it's funny, because had they nicked the fly from TNG and added some, like, nacelle elements to it, like distinct ones, and then maybe a few pincer details, which are a bit weird, probably would work better. They're cool but weird. I think, you have to move the Maru down now. I think.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a hero ship that's in like 5 episodes and a still frame in an episode as an Easter egg.
But of a Kobayashi Maru that we've heard about since Star Trek 2 that is now visually canon on screen and TOS, and it looks great. Fine.
Well, no, hold on.
You're doing screen time over
I mean 3 seconds versus a minute. No, go with the audience, right? What do you think, guys? Vote now. C or D. Legacy factor single frame versus hero-ish ship, or what? Vote now. Kobayashi Maru, C or D.
I'll stagger it like that, so you guys decide whether Kobayashi Maru goes in D or C. I think it should probably at least be a C, just because of the coolness factor of it. But
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but then that changes the whole rating scale. Is like now screen time's super important.
But that's the thing, right? A TOS con is a hologram. I'm not going to give an A because it's a Connie, right? 1 second of Easter egg is not going to equate to being a high score. So yeah, there is going to be and everything comes into play, right? But vote now, guys.
So, yeah, vote in the chat whether it should be C or D. And if somebody wants to super chat in and lock it into a position, you can do that also. So,
and if you want to be an annoying person and make an A or S for this $5 super chat, you can. If you need to.
You can only move it up one
good point
tier with $5. So,
and if you want to be an amazingly annoying person and want to put in 20, then you can, Mister. You know, up to you.
Which Classic for Real tends to do. He just slides everything up to the top.
Hashtag. What's the one? It's the forest ship. No, rainforest. Yes, rainforest ship.
Yeah. Dr. Cullum or Dr. Watson, sorry, throws in says a C. Dave Moon says a C. Sergeant Montgomery says a B. Matt Yarrington says a D. Dan Ben says a C. So far it's 3 C's to 1 D.
I had to put it out there because people will say, "What are you doing conceptually?" But that's why some level of democracy as well.
Well, that's why we talk about it and justify why it's there. So
exactly. Now, why the hell did that screen cap anything I just did? Jesus Christ, guys.
Schmo buddy puts in a C. Yeah. All right, let's move that up.
All right, your voice has been heard. Ladies and gentlemen. Lovely.
And BK Fisher and also C. So yes, there we go. Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. What is next? We got Mark Lawrence. Good to see you, Mark. $5. How's about a Tellarite sleeper ship Jenkin Pod came from? Never got a lot of their ships in the past.
Yes, indeed.
That is right.
I'll jump on this one first. So, of course, this is a funny old one because it's an NX-ish era-ish design, of course, because it is just the one from Enterprise, but flipped upside down. But of course, he's from a bygone era as well, so it kind of works. And there's now up in space, therefore you can argue that as well. So it's like all the weird choices made for it work because of those various get out of jail free. But hey, I mean, I've always liked the Tellarite design. It's a good. I mean, it's obviously several other ships as well, but it's a decent design. Looks nice. This model's rather well detailed for its one shot. I think 2 shots actually. And I applaud them for using the cannon and making a nice model. I mean, it's but obviously with the advantage of Eagle Moss, like orthographics exist for every ship they did, including this one. So it's not hard to rebuild, and they did a great job. I know the ship quite well because I've used it before as for various things, and yeah, it's a nice version of an uncreative and unimaginative reuse.
You summed up everything I had to say, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, say them anyway, Stuart. Put your own opinion.
That's what I'm doing.
Thank you, bud. Good. Now do it faster, quicker, harder. What?
It's great that they used the cannon from Enterprise. Yes, we didn't see a lot of Tellarite ships, but we did get the Tellarite design. I'm not a big fan of the Tellarite design aesthetic at all, but it was nice to see for them to bring that back. Yeah, it was interesting to hear Jenkin Pog's backstory, and the Tellarite ship was fantastic. But like I said, I'm not a fan of the design, and it's not used in overly large amount in the episode necessarily. I mean, we see the interiors of it quite a bit, which is also interesting. So that's another pro for the discussion. But personal preference design-wise, But canon usage, more Enterprise designs, can't complain. My biggest thing is where is it going to be placed, though, because I think the things in C look better than this. Looks better than this, but again, this is Tellarite, so.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things that if you already spent the time to build this model, then do what TNG did, right? You say, oh, okay, well, we're going to make those, we're going to add maybe another fin at the back and make it another glowy. We're going to copy the little antenna bit and make it 2 instead of 1. Like, they could have kit bashed the design even 10%, because it isn't, it's just upside down. And that level of lack of creativity is a problem, because it wouldn't take long. Or you've got these Kazon ships, these other ships, pull some Greeblies, Star Wars style, and just stick them onto this, just something different. They didn't do that. You know, like Medusan, it's kind of fine, because it's a bit weird, but I feel like it's weird they would have such an old ship. So I would say easily a D for this because there's an own goal of creativity, and I think while it looks nice, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you agree because I was thinking D as well, and then I thought you were going to want to put it like B or something because of using an enterprise design. But
it's a negative, right? It's a good baseline to then tweak it some, right? That's why the TNG they got away with 18 versions of the Packlet ship because they actually they made some of them different. Like the black one with the laser cannons feels so different to the other one, even though it's the same baseline, and that's the achievement. So
yeah, no, that's a perfectly acceptable spot for that, I think. All right, Dan Ben, 2 pounds, the Akira class, my favorite Starfleet ship. Ah, yes. So many of them got destroyed.
Rip.
Again, it's always great to see the Akira come back in any capacity. It is a cool design. And we got quite a few in that final battle. It's great to see. I don't know what to say. It's an Akira.
It is an Akira. Boy, when they do it right, then they do it right?
And no changes to it, which is nice, because even though we just said that the Tellarite ship should be changed.
Yes, but it's not the same. That's a several hundred-year-old ship design. This is like a 20-year-old design that would still be in service. It's not quite the same. But yes, indeed. No, this is interesting because for me, I mean, for us, we loved these episodes. They're so bold and big and complex and for a space battle. I mean, the level I would do and then add more budget, right? What's funny about this is that I know the ILM Akira really well and the tech stream looks the same. Because it doesn't look great, but it looks right. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Because it's definitely not the highest grade model, but I think they just grabbed the ILM one, which is accessible for the teams. I've got it. And they lit it, and it's what it is. And it feels exactly right. The proportions feel right. Other models... I mean, because hell, it's a bold thing to say. Let's do all these classes. Some they built new models, some they didn't. And yeah, I think it's a very good one. I think this one feels less in the battle than the other ones, I would say. I think Centaur, Defiant, and E, or Sovereign, has more presence. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But you do get the rotary torpedo close-up, which is wonderful, right? I mean, absolutely gorgeous. But
I think about that. Yeah.
But I think it's the least served of the ships. Like the Centaur gets a little part, I recall. Defiant, of course, gets a close-up. Sovereign gets various things. This never gets like a hero moment. So I would say a C, because I don't think it ever gets time to shine. But I mean, great.
See, it is. I like that. Yeah, you're right. This almost felt like the cannon fodder for the fleet, like the Mirandas for the Deep Space Nine battles. Throw some Akiras in there as background ships to make it look like a bigger fleet. But yeah.
And boy, there's Akira lovers. What? And as we've said, Stuart, $5 and we'll raise it up. You guys have the power to... This is still always a community ranking, right? You throw in the ideas, we rank them, and if you disagree strongly, then you have ultimate control. We are just pawns to your power.
We'll bow to your will.
All right.
Cat Boots, $5. Can I choose the Protostar with the TOS bridge consoles as separate ship from the regular Protostar? Heck yeah.
Sure.
Because that was a moment that really...
Oh, no, Stuart, show the other consoles. Come on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the whole thing gets changed, not just Dal. Come on.
Fine.
Yeah, the whole thing's cool.
Is it, though?
Yes.
Be a harder pitch.
Because it's fun showing context, right?
Fine. Make it even bigger.
Yeah.
But
it's
then...
such an amusing idea.
I know, but then it gets lost in the picture a little bit as to what the fuck's going on.
That's part
especially when we shrink it down. All right, there you go. You got TOS chairs and front consoles, at least the buttons, And yeah, that was fantastic to see that moment, to have the holographic displays. And I've been saying for years, ships need to have that, where they can change the console settings and displays to look or be exactly what you need in a holographic form. So to see the TOS captain's chair and the TOS backdrop and Dal sitting in it, and to have the Enterprisians working the consoles was a fantastic moment. So yes, this is absolutely a good call out. Thank you, Cat Boots, for doing that. Wouldn't have even thought to really include that necessarily. So it's not the exterior of the ship that's changed at all, just this interior bridge, and I love this design. It's friggin' great. Really hit the nostalgia strings perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, it epitomizes of various things. It epitomizes the idea of the ultimate ending of the story, which is these people have been training on fake simulators that they're able to pilot this. That's a fun, crazy thing. And Dal taking command in a really effective way. And obviously Janeway's a hologram throughout the ship, so therefore you have holo projectors as a giant part of the story. Therefore, the idea of having holo makes sense. Now, the fact that, and most people don't catch this, the fact that the normal consoles disappear and are replaced with these, they don't know they're replacing, which either speaks to the original consoles being holographic, which is a bit too bold, or that you're able to put a shell over them. It's interesting, because, I mean, everything's relative, right? But although that said, in some shots, as in every episode, they forget to remove them, because, you know, they did them at different times. And as we've said during the episode, the close-ups of Dal with just TS behind him look so fresh and so, modern's the wrong word, but so sci-fi and cool, that in this style you could absolutely get away with the TOS series episode or miniseries or movie. Like, it looked superb. And just the absolute silliness of seeing the edges of a console when in a bridge it's the walls, right? But it's such a beautiful idea. Yeah, it's one of the best moments in Prodigy, because it made me real emotional seeing this, and the full commitment to the bit, which is part of it. So I'm happy to give this an S, because this is so well done. Like, it's not just the fact that it is what it is. It's also just really, really well done. It's grounded in the reality of the show. It's not just like walking into the holodeck and saying a TOS bridge. Like, they did that, right? This is so creative and yet so simple. So yeah, I'd go absolutely S for this.
Yeah, and it adds a new element to Starfleet's technology to be able to do that as well. Just reconfigure your bridge consoles. I love it. So yes, absolutely agree with the yes. Good call, Cat Boots. We're in cahoots together.
Canon.
Next up, we got Matt Yarrington, $5. The Medusan ship. Let's see. Is it in here yet?
Is it there?
It's not that I can see.
It's there. Now, this was just a glorious... Oh, guys, you didn't have to do that kind of moment, wasn't it?
Yeah. The Medusans, of course, are non-corporeal, and we see them in Is There No Truth in Beauty in the TOS episode. So to bring in this ship, which again has a lot of TOS elements to it, it's got the TOS nacelles.
Unabashedly, the TOS nacelles.
Yes, and the simple shapes of TOS design language with the dome and stuff like that. This was amazing, and this is something they absolutely did not have to do, as Sam said. But there it is, now visually canonized. I just didn't expect that, and again, that's another moment that made me absolutely happy, and not just because it's a TOS nerd aesthetic thing going on, but because they didn't have to do it, and they did. And this is what we complain about a lot with newer Star Trek. All you need is something like this in your scene would improve a lot of things. You don't have to focus on it necessarily, but the canon exists, the ships are there, the technology's there. Just add stuff in that makes sense being there. So, yeah.
That said,
well, here we go.
We use the argument against the Tellarite ship. So why does this get the potential free pass?
Because Enterprise isn't as good as TOS.
Wow. Controversial opinion? No joke. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, this was, I mean, just a great flashback anyway. Easily the best of the episode, hands down, because it was interesting. It was different. Kazon back was really, really fun. Seeing all the non-corporeals was wonderful. This is interesting because, yes, it's in TOS Remastered. You can kind of tell it, barely in it. It was Eagle Moss, cool, but it's not an impressive ship, right? It's very basic and simple, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because unlike the Tellarite one, where the reuse of it feels uncreative, to me personally, the choice to use this feels like a choice. For me, it says that this race, who are non-corporeal, do not care what their ship is. They care about it working. So they are happy to still use a ship that's 200 years old because it works. And that has a meta internal logic of, one, we can reuse an asset, don't worry, but B, that's not how they feel, how they work, right? So I like that juxtaposition of it can be literally quarter of a 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
And it's still in use, well, if it works, right? I mean, we have an oven that's 27 years old, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And often boilers last longer than anything new. So it works on a different level to me. Now, is it a boring ship? Kind of. Is it in the episode some? Yes. Is it much? No. Does it look good? Yes, actually. Yes, it does. But I would still only say C, though, because it's not creative, so it doesn't get into B.
Yep, I was going to say C. Before I move that, though, I want to address two things that Devo says. So TOS consoles versus Strange New Worlds consoles. TOS consoles, hands down.
I mean, mix the two, and then maybe you've got a winner.
Devo 77X, they are beings that are non-corporeal, yet they need a ship to move around in. They can move through space, but can they move at, warp 6? Probably not. And plus, there's eddies in space, there's gravitational distortions. Just get on a fucking ship, plot a course, and set a speed. You can all travel on it. They're able to travel in space, but do they want to? Would you want to walk to, I don't know, a city that's 500 miles away, or would you rather drive?
Yeah.
Pretty simple answer.
Easy example, you've got a corner shop you can walk to. Why have a car? Well, maybe you want to go to the bigger store, or the cinema, or anywhere else, or take the car to the airport. But you can walk to get food. Yeah, but the other things.
And let's just say, another analogy, if you want to cross a body of water, you need to take a plane, right? You could rowboat across.
You could.
So these guys have to go through a nebula or any kind of spatial distortion. Yep. They can use a ship that has shielding and deflectors designed for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's my argument for that.
Plus, of course, what is space? It's a lack of something. On a ship, they could have things, obviously, for their context, they could have things that make them feel good, entertainment, power them, just...
Mm-hmm. Not be bored shitless, traveling through space.
Yeah. Are we still going forward, Jeff? Yes. How long for? 400 years. Oh, okay.
Are we there yet, Dad? Are we there yet? Yeah.
I spy my hill. Phase cloud. Something with an N. Nebula. How do you know? It's the only thing we can see.
I spy with my little eye something that is white. A star? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, Dan Ben, £2. The Galileo Enterprise shuttle from All the World's a Stage.
Or the wreck, as we could call it, because it be wrecked. Now here's two shots. I'll let you pick which one you prefer. They each show differently. And guys, you could put in the Protostar, Voyager-A, Dauntless. Dauntless come up. There are some shuttles, Valnacat ships. Submit, and let's talk about them.
Well, I'm thinking I'm going to go
rank who is better.
And yes, to see Lieutenant Garavix, or is it Ensign Garavix, sorry, his shuttlecraft from the Enterprise, was again another glorious moment. It opened up some questions. Why didn't Kirk go back and things like that? But we debated that at the time. There were definitely, it's a good talking point for Trekkies. And to see a TOS shuttle again, thank you. Yes, unaltered. Perfect. Get to see the interior. Yeah, it's wrecked, but hey. It's cool. Cool as hell. Again, another Aaron Waldke thing. He is a god amongst Star Trek writers. So, yeah, this was fantastic. Just hands down.
Yeah, it's that first season was the gift that kept on giving.
Yep.
And especially this is before Stranger Worlds came out. Oh no, this might have been just after, because they delayed things. Yeah, I think the first part of the season was before Stranger Worlds, then something of the ilk, right? This was throughout different parts, and so people were concerned that Stranger Worlds is sort of them saying visually retcon it all and destroy TOS and destroy relics and all those different things. And so another Trek show, I guess to be allowed to, because Picard said he wasn't going to show TOS. Lower Decks didn't very much, right? In fact, the animated series, they're visual when we saw it. So this was a really testament to, no, we're not erasing it. We're not just Star Wars Holiday Specialing it. It's not just going away into the vault. It's like, no, we're going to continue to use the canon that millions love and make a shuttle that is wrecked, which is interesting. It's a very simple model to build, let's be honest. It's a brick with space wheels. There's a sort of interior, it's definitely wrecked. And I do think the scale's off, but I mean, the scale's always off with this, right? It's not... And I've always been slightly annoyed by the fact that the walls are paper thin on this version. It's like, no, it could be a little bit thicker, but then nothing would fit, right? Yeah, the crux of the story, didn't see it coming, kept adding details. Yeah, really just damn. The only thing better would have been them to have to use this to escape on, and this end up in the Protostar's shuttle bay. And then exactly right, and then Roktox fix it over the course of several episodes, and it becomes like not the Delta 5, but like their secondary craft that they use for something special gets destroyed. We get to see it fly out. That would have been just crazy. And then they could the extra is pristine and beautiful because Roktox loves the old stuff. The inside is like half an old console and half a new console, and it's like a mix. Like that would have been amazing, right?
I was just going to say that they could have Sequoia'd it up like the lower decks guys fixing up the shuttle.
Yeah.
And they each have their own little special thing that they did with it. But yeah, they restored it as much as they could with the replicator and added some new stuff. That would have been fucking glorious.
I mean, hell, if Eagle Moss was I think it was still alive at this point, but if it was bigger, they could have said, ooh, if we make a variant of this that's changed by adding custom pieces, we can sell that for another 50k. Profit. Eagle Moss. No, lovely. My gut says an A, because I don't think it quite hits S, but I think it's still a very nice version of what it is.
Yeah, I was thinking A as well. I went B. Originally I was thinking B, but I'm like, no, you know what? This was super special in many ways, so yeah, I think...
Well, it's also truly important to the story. It was the crux of the story, so it will always be remembered. And of course, it's our actual TOS Enterprise, shuttle. It's a.
Yeah, and they could have easily gone Stranger Worlds with it for the Stranger Worlds shuttle, and it's like, yeah.
Or done both. Said, let's meld them because we love both, and we'll do like Stranger World nacelles, like something to kind of ruin the purity. But no, it's pure. It's beautiful, wonderful. Hi, Terrence. Good to see you.
How does anyone know what we're looking at? I haven't a clue. Well, it's the TOS shuttle, obviously.
Yes.
Dan Band says, talking about the Medusan ship, but if you look at what their ship originally looked like in the 60s, it was just a color light blob, I think. Yeah, as were a lot of ships in Star Trek in the 60s. But they had been updated for remastered and things like that. So that's what Eagle Moss built their ships on. And that kind of became what it would have looked like and should have looked like. But they didn't have the money back then to build all these models.
And because they were limited in remastering to faithfully do, you often saw these remastered designs on a view screen in the distance because they were being chased. So even though you saw a Gorn ship or this Medusan, you rarely got a huge sense of it. And luckily, Eagle Moss got the models and made versions, so everyone got to sort of like see and feel and clear it.
And even the people that did remastered, they used a lot of Matt Jeffries concept sketches for other things as inspiration.
As you should.
So yeah, it's perfectly fine. Okay, next up we got Schmobuddy with $5. Janeway's Dauntless. It's wanky and janky, but I like it. I like its knockoff discount vibe, and it makes sense. They'd start there. Ah, yes, the Dauntless. My favorite is the favorite Federation designs ever. Don't you know?
Now, I would like you to make that slightly smaller. I want to present one of my own images, just to see if you have a comparative difference in how you feel, right?
Okay, hold on a second.
Yes. I mean, the audiences will pick and choose, because, you know, see if you make that half. Let me work with this one. Give me a sec.
Yeah. By the way, I was being sarcastic, guys. I don't like the Dauntless.
Ooh. He never has, and he never will. He's never forgiven them for the death of his...
love of Star Trek.
What? Let's just... so the canon one on top. Now, straight question. We try to be as close as possible, but mine's slightly cleaner lighting. Do you have preference between the two renders and how they feel?
Well, yes. Yours is better because it feels more like something you see in Voyager or a TV show, and it's cleaner. You can see things.
Thank you. Because the thing is, you're also voting on the design, but if you can't see the design clearly, it's not going to highlight the design. So I wanted to give it, you know, obviously we tried to really sing. So I wanted to present both because this is an example shot, but you might not appreciate the design without the design, and we try to get very close. Right, so your thoughts, and yes, Devereaux, Prodigy's been in production for a long time, because there's like a 2-year lead into Prodigy. Strange Worlds, they were being in production within a year, because build sets and filming. Yeah, that was, like, they had worked for like 5 years for a long time. Right, Stuart, your thoughts of the Dauntless?
I was not happy to see this. The fact that Starfleet took the design of an alien that was trying to trick Voyager into getting home, the NX-01, and used that to create this transwarp or slipstream. What was it? Slipstream or transwarp? I can't even remember now. Anyway, this new ship design. That being said, I really did like the bridge. The bridge was cool. The interiors were all right, but the exterior, I just don't like the overall design vibe of it. And yes, it's not the exact same as the Dauntless from Voyager, the NX-01. So I'm glad they changed it somewhat to be more. They used Starfleet technology to build this, not just an alien that created this ship to trick Voyager. So I grew to kind of like it more during this, though, if I'm honest, because it was Janeway's ship. And like I said, the bridge was cool. Definitely some good visuals of the interiors. So, yep. Still not happy about it, but hey, it's fine. At least it wasn't in season 2. At least they kind of, created a new Voyager, which is fantastic. There's my thoughts.
I'm obviously slightly biased because I've made probably, 60, 70, 80, 90 shots of Dauntless at this point. Every angle you can imagine, in slipstream, in warp, fighting things, it's done things, right? So I've seen it, and I've had to sort of find its good angles, I've had to whatever. It's such an odd one, in that I think it looks great from the front. I really like the emitter, I really like the nacelles, I like the vibe, obviously I've always liked the vibe. The back lets it down heavily, but we already knew that. But most of the time, having done most of the time, you don't actually feel that, because you do cool shots that kind of, don't focus on that. And we know it was let down because they ran out of time to produce it, and it got sent to final, and it wasn't quite refined. And all the best parts are stolen from the real Dauntless. But hey, it was a damn big surprise at the end of that season. It left us on an amazing note. Like or hate the ship, it's like, wow, they're doing this?
Yeah.
Wow. And it's not just Dauntless, it's a creative new one. It's quite a lot different. The bridge is beautiful. Actually quite different to the one from the show, the original Dauntless. It's subtle things and some big things, but it's a really nice... I do prefer that one as a view screen. As a view screen. Really, really nice bridge. I really like that bridge. I wish they'd use that more. And certainly that bridge compared to the Voyager-A bridge, I mean, my God. Yeah. Sorry, guys. No competition.
Yeah. They should have switched it. Should have been the other way around.
Yeah.
Voyager-A, the cool bridge.
Yeah. And I'm fine with them taking schematics and building, because they want a slipstream ship. That ship worked. Reverse engineer it. Boom, here you go. And turns out you need this geometry. So I think it's fair to say we might have to do 2 different rankings for this, because I think we have different scores. So what about I rank my version, you rank the show version?
Hold on. I thought of something else I should mention. I don't know whether to praise it for this or not, but Starfleet technology is so advanced now. They fire phasers out of RCS thrusters. It's fucking cool. Multifunctional RCS thrusters. I mean, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, Voyager-A did it as well there at one time. It was like, stop shooting weapons of the RCS! I know they're holes, but they're not those sorts of holes. Because for my version, I put in goddamn weapons.
Phaser strips.
And torpedo launchers. Because of course there would be.
And cleaner hull texture.
Yeah, cleaner hull texture. It's just Dauntless hull texture. Anyway, so if I was going on the show, we'll do unbiased ranking first, and we'll do our sub rank. I think we have to be separate because I have too much personal experience. I would have given this a strong B from the show. I think it's great in the show. Where would you have given it from the show? And then we'll give a sub ranking.
A B.
Oh,
it's because I don't like the design. It was Janeway's ship, and it was in it quite a lot of pivotal. We saw a lot of it. So yeah, I was going to say at least a B, but I thought you'd go higher. So I was like, so I'm glad you said B. Were you lowering yours to be more closer to mine because you thought I'd say D? I don't know.
No, well, I'm saying in the show, right? But I'm taking out my personal experience with it. I would give it an A because I really like its vibe, and the shots I've done with it are really nice. It's really fun to work with, as bulky and silly as it is. So, I mean,
it doesn't flow. It doesn't stream. It doesn't look nice. I don't know. It just doesn't.
See it zip in my film.
Have a gracefulness.
Yeah, you haven't seen the shot, so I can't. You know, it does. It zips really well.
We'll put it at B. I mean, if I had personal preference, I would put it at a D, for design, because I just hate it.
But is not the bridge one of the best bridges for a long time?
Oh, and I did say that.
Yeah, I know you did, but like that by itself does. It's like I say, if you could put the show in B and then my little render like a small in A, as a little, just like it. It's like the Rev, right? When we get to the Rev, I have so much personal experience with that you haven't got, that obviously I have a hugely different... Okay.
Right there.
No, I want to be next to the shuttle. I'm there. Okay. Fair.
Oh, that's just impossible to see.
Okay.
Put it like that. If anybody has any questions,
we'll answer them. Yep, thank you.
We'll just ignore them. It's fine.
Lovely.
Oh, Classic for Real is here with $5. Thank you so much. By the way, we didn't hit our goal. We only got halfway to our goal.
Still pretty good, though. Because people put in 2s and such, so.
Yeah. Classic for Real, $5. Did we already do the best ship in every series it's in? USS Defiant?
Did not.
We haven't, no.
Because that was an annoying one to find renders of, or shots of, because you want a good one. So
yeah,
talk about it, because I know what shot I want, but I don't know where it is in the battle.
Okay, just remind me and don't think I'm stupid.
Okay. It was in Deep Space Nine.
Was it actually the Defiant?
Yes, it was. There was actually the Defiant, which is lovely. Yeah. I think there was like 3 in the battle. As more than 1, but not like a ton.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Defiant. Now, obviously, they could just reuse textures, but they did say they made a choice. The E was an accident, but the Defiant was intentional.
E was an accident.
Which is great, because they got both. Slash, yeah, we'll get both. It's fine. It's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Defiant, again, it was fantastic seeing that back, and to see it in such... It did quite a few cool maneuvers during that whole thing. So, add to the legacy and the lore of the Defiant. I'm all for that. So yes, absolutely great. I wish you would have seen some interiors for some of these ships, like the crew's going, what the hell is happening, or whatever.
This is a temp while I find the render I'm thinking of. Yeah, keep going.
Oh, it's so tiny.
I know.
Yeah, anytime to see the and I wasn't the biggest fan of this design when it first came out either. It felt very un-Starfleet, but
30 years ago now.
Yes, it's designed for a purpose, and it fills it because it is small, agile, maneuverable, and powerful. And it was great seeing it kick ass here. It was doing its thing. So And yeah, the maneuverability of it is what really makes it work. The Protostar also had a lot of really great maneuverability, and the smaller the ship, the more agile it'll be. So yeah, I mean, Deep Space Nine's fantastic. It gets really good once the Defiant shows up.
Like it's like a curve up, isn't it? It's like a
yeah. Like let's give a Star Trek show a ship where they can go and do things.
Shocking,
right? I appreciate them at least trying something different with the station, but we know where the show got good. You can't hide it.
We know where the we know.
So yeah, it was awesome to see. And
okay, I'm on the scene, and it's so. And I love what you said there. It's really prescient. Yeah, the battle has got some pretty heavy hitters when it comes to ships. The Akira is a big ship. It's way bigger than you think. The Sovereign, of course, is the biggest. Centaur. Pretty, not small. So yeah, any ship that's comparable to Protostar, which is horrendously maneuverable, right? Yeah, Defiant makes sense. Yeah, that's the show I was thinking of, but it's still not great. But you can sort of read Defiant. Shows us the model. Yeah, no, it's great. It's it makes so much sense, and especially if. Did they know the Protostar? Yeah, they must have. Yes, they presumably said, "We'll need some fast, small ships. Do we have any of them? Just Defiant. Yep, get Defiant. Not Worf, but whoever's in charge." Although it's interesting, I just had this conversation earlier today with somebody at the tailor who's doing a costume for us, and he was saying, "So how do you feel when you get bad reviews, and how do you address them?" And I said, "Reviews are so variable in in what they say. So you just said, for example, you wish you saw interiors. It's a fair comment, but obviously you don't know from the inside. They were presumably 1,000 over budget. They had 2 days to deliver all the shots, and that would be an insane build for cutaway. It would be lovely, but the work to time, and then you got to 3D model people for the background extras in their uniforms. Like the work for that's why I don't do certain things in Trek shorts, but then I do other things because the work is so much. So it's a fair critique, but at the same time, what they did do was insane, considering Picard Season 3, copy and paste fleet. Lower Decks, at that point, had some pretty poor outings for canon ships. The Nova was horrendous, right? Here they had gorgeous Defiant, Centaur, and Akira. I think they just nicked them from Eagle Moss, because they did, probably. And a Weird E that's good and bad at the same time. I mean, this Defiant's gorgeous, but I think they just used a real model, because it's like, I recognise the hull paneling. Long story short, it's great.
I'm tempted to say S for the Defiant.
I feel like there's another slot for S though in this battle. I think this would be my A. I think because it has got a hero moment, but it's only got one, and the fact that I was having to find it, just scroll for it,
pissed you off, so you're mad at it.
Well, I wasn't thrilled, but it is a really good replica. Considering. So if anyone wants to make this higher, I'm all for that, but I think for me this would get a high A, but I think it just misses out. It's not a complaint.
That's a nice shape though from the side. Oof.
I know it's great. I think had they mentioned who was piloting it,
yes,
because it's going to be someone we know, presumably. This isn't that far after. Well, had it been Kira, okay, a bit weird, but had it been Kira, not the voice or anything, but like had Janeway said, or whatever the commander's name, he said, Kira's Helm Defiant, purr through, but it's like, I can't, Captain, like that moment, just to know she was on it would be really nice. Especially if you're going big here, right? If Worf is capturing the E, Kira is capturing Defiant, you'd think they'd work together in a meaningful way to solve the problem, because they know each other for a decade, right? I'm just saying, it could have been amazing.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, there you go. All right. My diatribe.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I thought there were more shots of it in this.
I know. So did I. I was trying to not use ones from the second part because it's all red, so I limited part 1. But yeah, it's always in the background.
Classic for real, $2. Season 1, Bird of Prey.
And then he follows up with
Season 2 Bird of Prey, which are different.
Because he's a clever man and a dick. But a clever man mostly. He does know. Give us some context, Stuart, because blink and you miss it.
Yeah, these were in the Kobayashi Maru episode. They're obviously the Klingon ships that come in to attack the Kobayashi Maru. And they are, in fact, different birds of prey. A lot of people would just say, oh, it's a bird of prey. But there are some design differences. Go watch our video on it. We do comparisons and such, as we always do. And yes, again, you didn't have to design a new bird of prey. Season 2 also had a new bird of prey with the Klingon scientists, which we'll get to in just a second. But these ones aren't shown very much. But maybe they had intentions to use it more to make a new model for it. But it was great to see. Instead of D7s or Katingas coming in for the Kobayashi Maru, 3 birds of prey. Don't know the size of them, but assume they're bigger than a Burrell to be a large threat. But yeah, and I loved the comparison video because I was quite surprised when you showed the comparison images because it's quite a few changes.
Yeah, and we use shots from the battle, which does show up as well. I wanted to show the first time we see it, in case you don't know when. But you can see in that episode as well. Yeah, so it is obviously Burrell-esque, but basically, it hasn't got a wing hinge. It's all connected in a way that's unique, and as you can see, it changes. There's a line and then a dip, so it feels different, right? Now, we assume it's because it's a warship bird of prey. It is bigger than the other one, which makes sense. Don't need articulation so much. Which is funny because either they made a bad replica of a bird of prey that's inaccurate, or they intentionally said we can't use a Burrell again because we like canon. Let's do a new version. It's mostly the same but a bit different. Both camps are funny, right? But it's great, and I like how it looks later on. Obviously, the joke about this that I caught. There's 5 frames in this episode where they use old footage of a previous iteration where they have wings up in the configuration. It's only 4 frames, but it stayed in the edit, after they get hit. Yeah. Pretty funny that both edits are still there.
So not seen an overly large amount.
Yeah, let me find the shot from... Because why don't you read the poll? I find the shot from later in part 2. It's a different sort of shot.
All right. We'll close this poll out with 74 votes. Wow, that's fantastic. Best new ship from Star Trek Prodigy. Well, the winner is the Protostar with 47%. Second place is the Lamar class Voyager-A with 39%. The Dauntless, 11%. Yeah. And the Rev 12, which is totally outside the box, or is a box, is 3%. So interesting.
Slightly ouch. Makes sense. And I'm going to just brighten this image up a little bit as well because it's a little bit dark.
All right. Yeah, go check out our videos on these ships for the comparison. Yes. Hello, Eggsy.
It's funny. All this stuff we've talked about in very extreme detail another time.
See you later, Raj.
Oh, have a good one. So yeah, go and watch our videos. Past us do all the work, so we don't have to.
Yes.
Where's the... There we go. Okay.
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah, first it wasn't letting me do anything, which is kind of important.
I want to tell people to hit that like button if you're just joining us, because we have 46 likes. I'd like to get to 50. That's only 4 more. You guys can be part of that and help out. So please do.
And the other detail that I forgot about this design, which is a design. It is. Oh, that's not the bright one. Wait, what? The other detail I forgot is this does not have the cloaking ring. So it is doing different things as well. Yes. And it wouldn't be hard to kit bash the old bops. Yeah, ignore that for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's the bright one. Yeah, so as you can see, it's missing the cloaking ring. It's stretched elements, which is fine. They've connected in a way that is not correct to the Brel. And you know what? It doesn't look better, but it looks different and effective and bigger, clearly, because of the multi-windows. And yeah, There you go, it's a different bird of prey. I forgot the show existed. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Pretty. I mean, it's pretty good. It's different, and it's the exact opposite to what the Tellarite was, right? Let's not change it, even though we don't need to. They didn't need to change it, but they did, and it was great. But not as good as the original, because it's obviously really good.
Yeah, and from that initial shot where you first see them on the view screen, there's 3 of them. You can't really tell there's a difference. They're just like birds of prey. This one you can definitely see the differences. So we're going to use this one for the chart, I think. Where do you want to place this, though? Because it's...
Well, instant gut reaction, do you prefer the Season 1 variant or the Season 2 variant? Because they're not at all the same.
Season 2.
Okay, so that's obviously going to affect. This, for me, at least gets a B. No, I think it's a B. I don't think... Yeah, I think this is a solid B.
Yeah.
Because this is creative, but with that box of canon that we live to live in. Yeah. I like it. Oh, Bill. No. Tenzin Gary says, looks like a refresh for a car model. Close enough to be recognisable, but different enough to look new. Yes. Well said. I like that point.
And then the Season 2 Klingon bird of prey.
Now, I'll go the landed one because it's the clearest.
Yes.
There are other versions. So this is bigger. It's got 2 sets of guns. The head is differently shaped. It's got extended pieces. It's got different glowy bits. But again, it looks so similar until you start comparing it, which is just so interesting. I think, make that look nice, and I'll bring in one of our comparisons as well, because I don't know if people necessarily get the difference. So that's... Put that in your mind, guys. That's a clear view.
You can tell by the neck that it's different. It's a little bit of a stubbier neck. Again, we've done a video talking about this, comparing it to the Burrell.
But then, if you do this, and we'll use that one for reference, you can see the direct angle replica. It is... vibe-wise, reasonably different. There's even like a shell over the blades, which I hadn't actually noticed yet. Huh.
Yeah. And again, no cloaking ring on the front.
No cloaking ring. Yeah, it's like all the shapes are a bit different, but mostly the same. And you can see the front shoulder blades in the other vertebral has a ridge and end. In this, are all organically linked. So it's really
Yeah, the Burrell has like an overhang.
That's what's good.
The other one's all filled in, and it's even different shapes. The Burrell has more of a domed thing going to the back there, where this one's more smooth. So.
And Bill says, no mention the JJ Bird of Prey? No, this is a Star Trek Prodigy episode. Look out, there's no JJ Bird of Prey in that.
There's no JJ shit in that. So yeah, I prefer this one. This was a nice looking ship. And I did enjoy, again, our conversation about the comparison. I always love those conversations. Those are really good videos. And it's also got a different landing configuration than the Burrell. The Burrell only has 2 legs at the back. This has, as you can see, it's got a front stabilizer leg as well. This one also has a huge ramp, which is a little different than the Burrell's. The Burrell's is more like a walkway with railings for its ramp. So, small things, but definitely different. Same, but different. And this, I would probably put at an A for me, personally.
Yeah, I think for me, because you've got to take the inside as well. They had a full interior set.
That's true.
They had a science lab, which is a whole new thing. You've got a ramp configuration is different. This thing had many fleshing out elements that goes beyond just hey, it's a Burrell. It really isn't. It really, really isn't. So no, I agree. I think this is a very solid A, because it doesn't ruin the Bird of Prey. It doesn't beat it, which I think is important. Like, I miss certain elements from that design, but it's a very, very appropriate, like, what if TNG had 3D and they could a model and they could modify it, give a guy a week to change it a bit, and this new but different.
Well, I've said, like, basically what they did was they did what FASA did. There's 3 different sizes of Bird of Prey in FASA, but they were all exactly the same design. This, you got the Burrell, which is the smaller one. You've got this one, which is probably the next size up, and then you've got the big one, the greater bird, which is the one we just looked at with the fixed wings and stuff. But they changed the design subtly, so they're the same but different. That's the way I like to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, if this is them, let's not say retconning, but retroactively saying, oh, there were versions of the Burrell Bird of Prey styling. We saw them in lower decks. Yeah, I think A's a good. Yeah, this deserves a lot of respect. This one.
Yeah. Cool. Subraxis shows up at 20 pounds. Whoa. Thank you. Here is some British dough for our El Capitan and from London, and El Comandante from near the other London. I like how yours is the other London. That's fun. He's even British. Anyway, otherwise, everyone knows what the greatest spacecraft in all of Star Trek was. Dal's fake Delta Flyer.
Dalar's fake Delta Flyer.
Dollars.
As featured in Lower Decks. As featured in Voyager, sorry.
Well, we can't look at it.
Well, I mean, $20 we can.
Okay.
Just might not get a high score for its screen time.
Ooh. It's going at F. We got an F.
We got a new F. We got a new F.
Great ship.
So there you go. Here is Dalar's Delta Flyer, which of course uses the Defiant bridge, because we have the Defiant bridge. I've not lit it well. I've lit it to be clean, not to be sexy. With a giant cargo module at the back, and in fact, these cargo modules were used in the Infinity design because might as well.
That's enough.
Why is it an F, Stuart? I mean, it's clearly
it's ugly, and it's not in the show.
Oh. Well, okay then. I think that's fair. Its lack of screen time does make a hard case for me to counter, Stuart. I will agree to that. Oh, hell, they were near the Delta Quadrants. They could have.
Next up, we got Classic for real again with $2 or $2. Sorry, why did I say pounds? Enterprise E, no bloody Enterprise E and Galileo Enterprise. Nothing wrong with the Enterpriseians.
Now, there's a shot already in there, but I'm going to see if there's any more cool shots of a Sovi.
Subraxis says that is some ugly ass ship.
It has some charm.
It's as charming as the British.
Yeah.
It's a compliment, I guess.
Why are you not?
Canadians are nice. We don't insult people.
Says the man just insulted people. Yes. Sovi. That one particularly is, of course, registered different, but the E is so it looks as if you recall, of course you recall, Stuart, your Trekyards, but the side of the nacelle still said E, because textures are annoying. I've done so many of them, and if you can't tell because you're flying around motion blur, you don't need to create custom textures that might take you 25 minutes in Photoshop. It's fine. Don't need to do it.
If you're not going to change them, don't have a close-up where you come over the back of the ship and you see the lack of impulse engines. Just holes.
And of course,
there was a few issues with the Sovereigns.
There was a lot of issues with the Sovereigns.
Yeah.
It was definitely... it's a hard one to try and do, of course. But you didn't quite pull it off, did you? And of course, this is the famous shot that we are referring to when... I mean, you can blatantly see that it says Enterprise E. And this, I think, is the one shot that is the most visible. And so you can also see the damage level. Now, what's fun about this is that it would line up roughly... This could be the event that Worf messes up with. Because
it wasn't his fault. Legit.
Because, look, that nacelle's ripped apart. And clearly it says E. I can read it. It says E. And then it's... But yeah, the impulse engines are just holes. And there's various other things that are missing. So they let themselves down a bit. I'm not sure what model it was, because models exist. The Nemesis, the First Contact, like things exist they could utilize. And it looks great. Like the proportions feel really good. But it's done weird things that you should have caught.
I wish it would have been the reason that Worf said it's not his fault. Because it legit isn't his fault if this was the case.
Yeah, but if you were going for that, you'd have to make it more in the battle because he's very ultra passive. He's not even really in it, right? And everyone gets nuked in this. It's universal destruction. So there's not really a sense of, not very special.
So even though it's the Sovereign, it's not the Enterprise. It's got wrong textures or missing textures, just errors.
Yeah. It's a bit weird. I
kind of want to say a D, just for those impulse engines really bother me.
Yeah. Especially if they're a glow part, right?
Yeah.
So you don't.
And you wanted red glowy, you've already got it.
You literally removed the one red glow you already had. Yeah. Yeah. It's and this bugs me more. Whatever. I know Aaron Watkey's said, but the fact that of all the ships in this battle, this thing, all the Sovereigns, there are many Sovereigns battle. It's a pretty heavy battle. They could quantum a lot of things and end them instantly, right? They don't need to be using 60-year-old phasers. You can just fire some quantums and have the construct do its thing. But Aaron's retort to that was, no, I want to hurt you, not just kill you. Hence why everyone's using low-yield phasers, why the battle keeps going, because, But so, but could at least find some quantums, would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, D, man, that's really harsh.
Well, what would you put it at?
I mean,
you're the picky one when it comes to 3D models. And I remember you complaining a lot about this at the time, especially for those impulse engines and such. So
okay, it's funny you're saying that because this shot you can't see the problems. I found another shot where you can see the problems, so I'm gonna pop then for a second. While you guys submit. I mean, at some point maybe the Protostar. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But who's to say, right? So in this particular shot, this is after obviously things go a bit bad. You can see it's very plain texturing. It's just grey, not even plating. But what's annoying about it is that the escape pods are weird. That's not how they should be, and they just feel a bit off. And all the windows are raised boxes, which of course, I guess they made Tripoli canon in Picard Season 3 with the Enterprise D, because that has raised window boxes. But it looks bad, it changes the scale, and just, I mean, that's a pretty poor Sovereign right there. The other shot was quite nice, this is pretty poor.
Yeah, this has square escape pods, which is incorrect.
I mean, look at that secondary hull, there's nothing, yeah, this is ugly. It's a properly... And it's funny because, while not necessarily you have to have interactive lighting, having the illogicalness of the Bassards and the impulse, Bassards and the warp cores be so red, how are they not causing any light to hit the nacelle that's pitch black? Right? There'd be some level of fall off. You can't have pitch black that way, so it even feels disconnected. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh. Okay, yeah, go high D. It's mean... But I guess they let us down, right? We didn't let them down.
You want to use?
Oh, you pick. I don't mind. They're all equally mid. So I feel like one warps in at one point, and that was a ship we knew, but I couldn't find it. I'm sorry, guys. Is this the only time a Sovereign would be a D?
Usually the Sovereign's an E, so yeah.
Wah, wah. Goodness. This is why you're really here, guys. Goodness. Okay. Damn.
Alright, next up. Classic for real with $2. The Centaur class. Oh, yes, indeed.
I found a better shot of, because I was
Did you?
Yes. That was my thumbnail shot, but I have this shot, which is way better. Because that is just Fabio's model from Eagle Masks. I even recognise the textures. I mean, it's worse lit, but it's a much cleaner model shot of it. So yeah, Centaur.
Despite its problems, it's a cool ship, and the fact that they actually decided to use it and highlight it here is interesting. Unique configuration. It's great to see it. Honestly, I just have issues with sizing and things, and that's fine. But
that's not their fault.
I know it's not, but yep, Centaur class showing up was great. Did it have a large role in this battle? Because I don't recall.
Oh, yes, this I would say are the largest. Because this one has the most unique profile, and the Protostar went around it most, and it fired the first torpedoes after it. So it got more close-ups and more mids. Because I think, fair to say, it's the nicest model of the 4 we've looked at. I mean, Defiant, but you can't just keep doing Defiant close-ups, right? Because it is a very good model that Fabio made. Texture is lovely. Really holds up well, so this is the one they showed most. So I think this is the strongest of the ones, because it is the perfect replica. It was done multiple times, scale notwithstanding. And yeah, I mean, Brave, is this the second Centaur use ever in canon?
Yes.
And there's like 7 of them, and they're great.
Fair.
So I'm gonna vote this as an A, because I think it looks really nice in that battle. Now, well, that said, the fact they just reuse a model from that someone else made, so all the quality, unlike the decor, which is a fresh. No, I'm gonna say B, because they did not build the model; they just were given it. That's why it looks great. They had nothing to do with it. Everything in A is creative. They've done different and Defiant. But that was probably a new model. Not sure.
Fair.
So many emotions.
All the emotions.
We have half an hour to go. We have a goal that ends as the live ends. Another 10. Stuart, do you want to read the what happens if they get the goal?
What's our goal? Oh, another 10 $5 super chats, and Stuart will sing about love and honor.
Has to be 5.
I'm gonna remember you did that.
And vote in the poll as well. 42 of you here, which is a tremendous vote right now. There's only 25 votes. So that poll should have almost twice as many people right now. So I want to see a vote spike, 25 to 30 right now. The question was, which show did the best ships? Prodigy or Lower Decks? There's currently a bit of a win, but you could change that if you believe differently. So yeah, submit your ideas and maybe a Protostar or 2 or 3. But we can submit one of our own while people decide what they want to cover. So Stuart, bring one in.
You're not going to like what I bring in.
Oh? Okay. Gonna take it away from all our lovely fans. Okay.
Well, nobody's going to bring it up, so...
And this is... Remember, there is also, if someone wants to be a dick, there's the USS Prodigy at the end as well, which is a variant with different stuff. So this is the original version. Okay, go for it, Stuart.
So this is the Protostar, which I think is a fantastic design. One of my favorite Starfleet designs. Even though there are some elements that probably don't feel quite right to some people. It's a sleek little ship. It's got a very unique interior. Holographic displays that can change. We didn't know that until that one episode. And also it's reconfigurable with the drive. So it's a transformer of sorts. But it looks fantastic in motion. It looks fantastic standing still. I wouldn't have minded a few tweaks on the nacelle design, but overall, I think it's a fantastic new idea for Starfleet. The bridge dome thing is quite cool, although probably very impractical. But I mean, it gives great visuals, so you got to give it that. And again, like I said, not a huge ship. A lot of that space in the secondary quote unquote hull would be for the transformation process. So there wouldn't be a lot of room. That's why it's just a couple decks in the saucer. But I do like the kind of feel of the interior of it. It's nice and bright. Captain's chair is not super awesome, but what are you going to do? But yeah, I like the Protostar. I think it's fantastic. It's definitely, for me, the best new Star Trek ship we've got in a long time. So, plus it transforms, which is kind of cool. The proto drive. So, what? One thing I might change though at the bottom is the deflector. I'd probably put it more. I make it round, and I'd kind of move it down to where a deflector is supposed to be, personally. But overall, I think it's really great.
I mean, obviously, we're stacking the deck a little bit here. It is the hero ship.
It is?
It flies now?
What?
What?
It heroes now.
Yeah, this is a tricky one because you remember how I felt when it first came out. Yep. It's JJ, and it still looks JJ. So many elements look JJ, right? Now, what's interesting about it is that for my Prodigy many episodes, I have done easily 100 shots of this thing, nearing 150. So I've done so much with it, from Protostar configuration, drive, standard, attacked, so much, right? I know it really well. Just absolutely. I was the first person in the world to build a 3D model of it, first to do film, like. So it's got a huge personal connection. I've been on the bridge myself. I've pics didn't happen. I have pics. It did happen. You've been on the bridge as a hologram.
I didn't know that yet.
You haven't seen that, but you are as a hologram. So congrats. There you go. Mild spoiler. But that's okay.
I've even seen Admiral Kirk and C-3PO on the bridge too.
Oh yes, day one of having this bridge. Yes, that was. So it's so I know the ship really, really well, but it really is the Defiant of the modern era, right? It's such a left turn, but it keeps, when you break down what it is, it's specialist and it keeps the elements that you need, except impulse engines. So it has none. Which I haven't really thought about, but it has no impulse engines. Guys, you've got impulse engines, and there are space for them. Technically, there's blue at the back of the nacelles, but shut up, they're just nacelle pieces. Missing weapons. There's no phase strips or torpedo launchers. Missing escape pods. They're inside, but it would be nice to see them outside. Missing RCS thrusters. Missing blinkies, which actually is great for rendering. So it's missing so many things, and I really wish they'd properly changed it for the last episode to add the things to make it not experimental. And I think if I was doing my own version, I would make it, fleshed out a bit because it's limited. But it's also basically just a courier, right? It is a very, very quick ship designed to move people from A to B or cargo. If it's fighting, it's doing something wrong, right? I wonder if the nacelles deliberately a construct vibe, because there's a ring of little cut-ins. It's very similar. I wonder if that's visual. I mean, obviously it's going to be an S, right? Because it's the hero ship. I think if you'd asked me when we started, it would have been lower design-wise, but obviously I've done so much with it, and I've seen it do. I've done, yeah, it's nice, and it does look good in every angle, in every motion. Yeah. It's annoyingly nice in motion.
I was gonna say it looks beautiful in motion.
Yeah,
and it looks fast standing still, which is always a good sign for me for a starship. So
and it looks still moving fast because it just zips. I don't know. Yeah, although it is a bitch to do the Protostar Pro jump. Sucks. It's annoying. But you can't not do it, right? You have to do it.
So S it is for the hero ship. What a twist. Love that none of you mentioned the Protostar.
Yeah, and there's the Protostar. This is Prodigy, which is a variant with a paint scheme. That'd be weird. I don't know how to review that.
So 2 Protostars in S.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Sergeant Montgomery Mako with $2. The Vonnegut Rev 12.
Yes. Now, once again, I want to have 2 reference shots for this, theirs and mine, because they do look different. So this is a clear shot of the ship, but keep in mind it's blue because it's in hyperspace. I mean warp. Thank you. Oh, and this is my render. There's a few more liberties we took because obviously the reference for this is incredibly limited. Oh, but it gives you a sense of it and how I approached it. So once again, gut reaction. Which do you prefer? Mine. I mean, design-wise, don't take the blue into account, right? Just design-wise, or.
So
we do like them differently.
Okay. I like the one from the show because it to me, it gives off like Transformers Prime vibes for the animation and the color scheme. Yours feels more grounded in the Star Trek reality a little bit. But again, I mean, both these backgrounds have different colors going on, so
true. Very true.
Yours seems more practical. I don't know. I like them both. I can't really pick. Is that fair? I don't know.
No, yeah, well, exactly. So back to the show. Your thoughts on the ship. And funny enough, do you even know what it looks like, really?
I don't. That's the thing. Never got a sense for the ship. We saw the interior, like his room, his throne room, whatever they want to call it. We got really weird shots of it from the outside. Usually you don't see the whole ship in frame. So you don't really get a sense of what it's like. So I never really quite got it. So I never really thought it was a fantastic design, if I'm honest. It feels like you change the color of those lights to green and you got a Borg ship design, like a really huge diamond. The ship does transform and reconfigure, if I recall correctly. And that's cool. But it's not really anything special. It is basically just it's a mega weapon. It's just a mega ship for them. It's a bad guy ship. And it doesn't feel anything particularly Star Trek wise, but again, it's fine. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Rev 12, of the Revs in general. That's my thoughts.
Good thoughts.
No, they're not.
Okay. Good acknowledgement of the bad thoughts. Yeah, again, this is where the biasness comes in. I worked very, very hard on the modeler to glean its design from every bit of reference possible. It is a hard shape to do. He did not get it right first 2 times. But you do direct comparisons. I mean, you can see how close it is once we got it. It feels very similar. I really worked hard, and obviously I pitched it as like, well, it's only one part cloned. Just get the part right? And in fact, my internal coloring is very similar because I nicked it off a screen cap that they get close at one point. I used that and I used AI to extend it out, so it is actually the same sort of texture. And then I use interactive lighting to create between the blades, which I think really makes mine pop. I mean, obviously theirs is overlit, it's reflective, but I really like mine. It's very simple, but it's fun. So yeah, obviously I really like the Rev. I've done so many shots with it. It's really fun to use on screen. It has such a bulk feel, but I love seeing it rotate because it's a very advanced ship. It's giant. And I did talk to the production team how big it is. It's not in season 2 really, so you can't. I mean, there is a version, but not this version. Yes, it does have an outstretched mode. There's a spaceship mode. The outstretched is landed, and it just kind of is that way. We would never attempt to build that because it would suck because it's fucking difficult. But I really like the Rev. It's really is. I sort of disagree with it. Doesn't feel Trek in that it feels like a Borg ship, so therefore it does feel Trek. Just that slant. Otherwise, a Borg cube's not Trek. It's a cube, right? That's not Trek, but it is Trek because it's in Trek, right? So it feels like a Borg cube, but on diamondy, steroidy red, right? It's that vein, but also being really simple. And it's going to do some real bastard shit in the Prodigy content I'm doing. It's just mean. Isn't? Yeah, it's in the trailer. It kills the Sovereign. So that's pretty hardcore. Just shoots right through it because its shields are not worth a damn. Yeah. So I'd give this one a solid B, a strong B, because I actually really like it, having used it. I'm sad it's not in season 2 really, except at the end. But I really like it for just it works for me.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy with a B. I didn't know quite where to place it, so.
Yeah, it's not really a fair one for you to judge in the sense that you don't know the shape. I know the shape really well, and I also know the bridge. I really like the bridge, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, the bridge is cool. Yeah.
And we built that. That was a bitch to build because there's shitty reference. It's really freaking big. That was really fun to build. And technically, I'm the pilot of this because obviously I play Dreadnought, so it's my ship too, bitch. Long story short, I like it.
Next up, we got Classic for Real with $2. Protostar, when Dal and crew first joined Chakotay. So crashed Protostar.
Sounded like you were the guy from Protostar when the Shaka fell. That sounded like you just said there.
Huh?
So there it is. I'll let you finish the reframing. So this is Rusty Protostar. I pitched a mid shot. I don't think he meant with
the sails.
Yeah. But there's a guy that did this for the show, and he had posted a whole like texture repository archive he did of like, how do I make the thing, and he had loads of reference to other Rust, and he put a lot of thought into it. It's like, yeah, it's Rusty. Not sure the work necessarily comes across because it's just sort of rusty. And this is the Protostar that ends up in the series, this super old, super rusty version that I guess they clean between shots for no particular reason, like off screen. This
fly through a special nebula is like a sandblaster. Fine.
Yeah. Your thoughts on the Rust Star? There you go.
Again, I still love it. It still looks fast. Crashed on an island. It was interesting to see a rusty starship, and then the transformation into a sailing ship was an oddity for sure, but still pretty cool. It's not gonna get S, but I just don't know where to quite place it. I gotta take a look at the chart here. It still looks fantastic though. Like I love the shapes in the Protostar. Since it doesn't fly, not effectively a starship. So, C for me.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
You're fine with the C?
Yeah, because it is. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty. It shouldn't be able to fly. I'm gonna add the plot holey elements to it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Let's see. Next up is Subraxis with 5 pounds. Sam, would you consider using an exotic spacecraft called Skeletor's Collector on one of your fan films?
Stuart, how do you answer that?
No.
As my official agent for these last 5 minutes.
I'm not getting paid enough for that shit.
I don't know what you mean, because what does that mean? As in, anything could be called that. So, I mean, the name's fine, sure. Civilian ship. Sure. Like a Ferengi or I mean, Pat could be kind of funny. Oh, our ship is Skeletor's Collector. The fourth.
Fly around collecting old Skeletor figures from He-Man. That's all we collect in our cargo hold.
My crew are skeletons. They do not go.
I do not feed them.
Yeah.
It does a Netflix Lost in Space thing when it sails.
It really does. Straight out of that.
I've been meaning to rewatch that. That popped up, and I was scrolling through Netflix, and I saw it, and I'm like, I should rewatch that.
Have you seen?
I enjoyed the hell out of that.
You've seen the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, mild spoiler vibe. If you haven't seen Lost in Space, because that's where you thought this live was going, doesn't end on the bigger high that it started with, which is a shame.
No.
It's a pretty mediocre end, but they obviously rushed it and didn't develop it enough. But yeah, the first one's brilliant. Second one's totally different, but brilliant. And third one's okay. Not bad, but just okay.
Yeah, I agree. Matt Yarrington, $2. Sam, please make the fixed Protostar model. Yes, do your version of what a Starfleet Protostar made into production would look like.
It's tricky because you'd want to change the cells, but at the same time, that's presumably part of the drive, so you can't really change the cells. And it would look weird with Bassards, I think. I think it's part of the flair. So it's just more just a case of adding phaser strips, torpedoes, RCS. I mean, the simple stuff, right? And then make it not reflective, platey, metally. But they might look dull, right? But that's also kind of the fun. Yeah. Maybe. I think I was waiting to see how Season 2 handled the new one, to see if I was going to do something. Because I certainly felt... Okay, sounds like mean. I felt mildly betrayed by Prodigy.
What?
In that, obviously, I didn't know it was going to look different, or if it was going to look different. But in my Prodigy web thing, it's after the end of season 2. So it should look in theory like the one from season 2, but I didn't know it looked like that, so I couldn't change it. And if I did know, I wouldn't have done it either, because it doesn't look as good in season 2. I think they hurt it with the paint scheme. It looks weird. And no more faces strips or anything. Yeah.
Subraxis goes on to say, El Capitan Foley should know what Collector looks like as a fan of Masters of the Universe. That's the ship he's talking about.
I mean, it looks like a Ferengi ship with teeth.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I love it.
That'd be a cool shuttle design. You could definitely do something with that.
It's not as bad as it could have been. I'll be honest. That's great.
Sergeant Montgomery, $2. The classic, the Prometheus.
Yes. Which I already found once. I didn't get a screen cap. I'm trying to remember when it came into the show. It's in a pit. Oh, it's at the end with the Vindicator showing him. That's right.
Also a shadow.
Yeah.
That bugs me still to this day.
Yeah, I was in Mindwarp probably. Give us some context, Stuart, while I find the picture. Because people will say, I don't remember seeing Prometheus in Prodigy.
The only one I remember is the shadow. So when the Protostar, supposedly under the command of Chakotay, arrives at the Vonnegut homeworld, you see them looking up and you see a shadow of a ship, and it's a Prometheus class, not a Protostar. So, yeah, that kind of confused us. It's just a massive error, which I don't understand how they could have made that error.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 2 shots of it in an art style, which is kind of cool. And it's an upside-down use of Prometheus. And it's like, what? But why is it upside down, and why is it Prometheus? Now, it's fine if a Prometheus was going to the planet. That's absolutely fine, right? No problem. Yeah. But that's not what the dialogue said. And it doesn't look the same. It kind of does, but kind of doesn't. And
I'd forgotten it was upside down. Shit.
Yeah. And like, so where do they get a Prometheus 3D model from? Because you can see the 2 nacelles. Like, it's a Prometheus. So,
and why did they? Yeah.
Because they had to, like, it moves and it's built and it's got more dimensionality than it needs to. Yeah.
And yeah, the upside down thing. Like, what the hell? Yeah. Clearly not the Protostar.
So I'm pretty sure at this point they had a Protostar 3D model they could use, because, you know, it's the hero of the show. Yeah, they do so good, does the Prodigy team, but sometimes they fire torpedoes out of RCS thrusters.
And using upside down Prometheus.
And 4 Protostars, yeah. So I'm gonna give it an F. This is a pure mistake, and it was not as happy to see. Oh, final 7 minutes, guys. Can somebody throw in for the Voyager-A? I mean, that is, talk about waiting in the wings. That is the other hero ship of the show, to go from Dauntless. And in fact, to put the... And this is quickfire, guys. You want a quickfire. Put the hen behind the curtain. We also have lined up, ready to go. We also have... Because I was prepping for what Classic might throw in as being a dick move. So I put in...
I know, I noticed that.
Thank you. So I'm not going to show you guys, but he's welcome to put it in. So I put in the thing that Dahl tries to escape with in season 1, because he might throw it in, because it flies in space ship. Fine, whatever. Just in case he put it in. Also the Borg cube. There's one of those, which you need to forget, because it's... also put a Kazon ship in, and the ground vehicle, because I'm pretty sure it could fly, because it'd be multi-purpose. And of course Voyager-A. So I don't see that in the last few minutes. So I'll put in this one, if no one else puts in the last one.
We've got one in. We've got one.
Oh.
Or as Janine would say, we got one!
There we go.
All right, so Sergeant Montgomery, the Lamar class, Voyager-A.
There we go.
Dun dun dun. Which
my render
looks odd without a background.
It does.
I
will make it untransparent by doing a thing.
Ooh, he'll do magic. All right. So I see what they were trying to do with this. And again, there's a lot of issues with this. There's a lack of certain details and certain things are the wrong color. There was a problem. I mean, they wanted to have the Intrepid class, but modernized. Of course, slap sovereign nacelles on it. We got big wedges for some reason, and no windows. There were a lot of problems with it. Overall, though, it was cool to see. And it was a nice enough design. Once Sam got a hold of it and made it better, it was better. Yeah, I remember. But yeah, so they're trying to invoke the feel of the Intrepid class, but modernized. And as you know, Carol Freeman said, don't make it all sovereign-y with the nacelles, but they fucked that up and made it all sovereign-y, and that's fine. It doesn't feel like a successor to the Intrepid class, though. I wish the nacelles would have been different, smaller, shorter, but it's still pretty neat. The bridge is atrocious. Poor crew that doesn't exist. What crew? Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah, and let us know your thoughts about the ship in the comments right now. It's definitely we went all out. We tried real hard, but also Y-1, Y-2, Y-3.
Yep.
Because there are many questions on this, and I do not feel like we ever got answers. It doesn't look good from every angle. It doesn't look good from everything. I get you can infer certain things, like RCS thrusters and phaser strips, but having it be a very flat, platey, and it does feel logical plating, but it feels like, hey, let's add some detail. Plates, what do they do? Doesn't matter. It's like, okay. And the cell's obviously a kit bashy, stretched. It's really, really weirdly proportioned. Yeah, it's okay, brutal question then. Does this make you appreciate Dauntless more?
No.
Bastard.
Because if they'd taken the time to add windows and details that Starship should have, get rid of those wedges, I mean, or detail them up. There's a lot of things that they could have done to make this good, but I don't like that it's a successor to the Intrepid class.
Especially, it's just a Sovereign with some Intrepid bits. Like it's pulled away from. Yeah, it's could have at very least texture like Intrepid, you know.
And BK Fisher 79 says, I would give it an A because I don't understand why it has an aquarium in the ship. It takes up most of the interior of the ship. Wow. Most ships of that era have, it's not an aquarium, it's cetacean ops, where the whales are used to help with navigation and such because they live in a 3D environment. The Enterprise D had it. You just never saw it. It was on the blueprints, though. It takes up a few decks worth, but, you know, that's fine. And even the Cerritos has one, a much smaller one. But, yeah, cetacean ops is just a thing that you would assume most starships have at this point. So I was surprised that Cerritos had one, being a California class, though, if I'm honest. But
yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, it's fine in the sense that this, I've been talking to people behind the scenes, this is meant to be the most advanced science ship of the era. Okay. Doing the most advanced science things. Now, what do you learn from Voyager? Having good navigation is important. So what are you going to do? Give it the most sophisticated version of the station ops possible, which, as we see in the episode, entirely saves them at the end. Because they couldn't do the thing without Gillian. So that was going to get them out of a lot of situations. Cool. Awesome. Takes a lot of space. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But that's okay.
And Bill Barkley says, yeah, it's whales instead of dolphins, like the Cerritos and the D. Well, the Cerritos had beluga whales, smaller whales, and the Enterprise D had killer whales and dolphins and a few other marine life forms in it. So,
yeah, and like I say, it makes sense. You'd assume the bigger creature can do more evolved, and therefore, yeah, it can do more.
That was just a nod to the humpback whales from Star Trek 4, though.
Well, and also it's just pretty, right? A scale that you wouldn't have with Matt from Lower Decks. Okay, do you want to just make it smaller so I can see the rest of the chart? Because I'm not enamored by it. I think this ship is a misfire in many ways. It's cool, but missed opportunity. I would love to do a remaster of this and make it canonized, but then it'd just be a sovereign-looking ship, right? For me, Dauntless is so much more creative, even though it's stealing Voyager Dauntless, but that for me is really creative, right? This is a very faithful thing.
I know where I want to put it, but...
So I like the overall shape more than Dauntless, but I like the details more on Dauntless. The nacelles and deflector I far prefer on Dauntless than this. But the back is still... There's no single bad thing in Voyager-A, but it's just not as inspired as Dauntless, but it's inspired by Voyager. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? So
definitely don't what?
No S?
No.
Okay.
No. I was going to say B.
Okay. Yep.
Because of the issues I already spoke of when it first came out, and I just wish it would have been a little bit different.
Yeah. Having giant cheese blocks attached to your hull.
Which we theorized were for the ablative armor, which was covering it. That's why there was no windows visible. That's never shown or really discussed. That would have made it better if they had pulled that back at some point and you actually saw the ship.
We gave them so much of the benefit of the doubt, didn't we?
Yep, as we always do.
As we always do. Yeah, I think, for me this is... I like Dauntless more because I've done a lot with it. I know it looks better in motion, I think. Yeah, I think Dauntless for me looks better in motion than Voyager. Voyager's very squat. Dauntless has much more depth, and it can turn with the head, with the wraparound thing. Voyager kind of feels flat and it's faithful to Trek, but it's just sort of Damn,
son.
Yeah, wow. How do we feel about this chart? Because that is a broad spectrum, with B being the winner. With 2 hero ships and the villain ship.
I'm pretty confident with the way this turned out, honestly. And we gave valid reasons for everything where it is, like the Sovereign and D. Like, come on.
Yeah. Only the Protostar wins out S. A is either incredibly good replicas, or new design. B is of everything else we like, but has some problems. C is nice to see, but has more problems. D has more problems, or lack of creativity. And F is, what are you guys doing? Interesting. Yes. Okay. Ships we missed. The second Valnacat ship from the end of the season 2. Valnacat fighter, shuttle.
The Infinity.
Oh, yeah, both Infinities. Yep. Mm-hmm. The shuttle, the Voyager-A shuttle, the space station. You go, but we got most of the good ones, most of the cool ones. So I'm pleased with that.
We're calling it there. Let's end this poll out.
Yes.
Which show did the best ships? Lower Decks wins with 58%. Wow.
And that, when I mentioned last time, was 60% Prodigy. So that turned entirely. Wow.
Yeah, wow. That's surprising, actually.
It's surprising.
All right, well. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you soon, maybe tomorrow.
Probably.
Another live. And check out our content on the weekends, as we always do.
Don't we feel like we learned something today? I do. I think we think. Yeah.
I know. I never learn anything.
Is there anything in the thumbnail we didn't cover? We covered the entire thumbnail! That never happens!
Really?
Yes!
Yay!
On that positive note,